If you're watching football as hard as it deserves to be watched this season, you need California almonds. With 6 grams of energy-giving protein, you'll have the stamina for the happy jumps and the angry convulsing. Visit almonds.com and own every day of the season with California almonds.
Golic and Wingo with you on a Tuesday morning. It's Tuesday, right? It's still Monday night. I don't know. ESPN Radio, ESPN2, presented by Progressive Insurance. All phone guests join us on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. Mike Golic Jr., Trey Wingo here with you. 2 ways to get in touch with us, 1-800-Flowers.com, Twitter feed at Golic and Wingo, or call in 860-506-5505. And the question we have for you is simply this. What else has lived up to the hype like last night's game in which the Rams beat the Chiefs 54-51? Can you think of anything in recent memory?
The first Avengers Infinity Wars movie. That was up there.
All right.
Pretty good.
I'd say that one. Last season of Game of Thrones. That was up there. The ending of that one.
Listen, spoiler alert. Bad guys got a dragon.
Man, listen.
How about a sporting event?
A sporting event that's lived
the
up
national
to
championship game last year was really good.
Yeah, it was.
That Alabama,
true.
Georgia was really, really, really good.
Yeah, we've been fortunate.
Oh, no, not so much.
Yeah, no. But you know what? I don't know if any of them went in with that same level of hype. This is like LeBron James becoming who he is with the level of expectation. We've been pointing to this game the entire bleeping year.
And usually that doesn't live up when you do something like that.
No. It's been great.
And for entertainment value, there's no doubt this lived up.
And in some states, we're not entertainment value.
Well, there you go.
There's also those things as well.
Made a buck or two.
By the way, we played that in that little rejoin there. We played Sean McVay saying, I think I may need a beverage or two to relax. I think we can all agree that Sean McVay is wound pretty tight, right? He can recite every play of every game he's ever coached in going back to, 7 years, right? You give him the situation and the time of the game, and he can remember the play. So just how many beverages do we think Sean McVay needs to actually relax?
I don't know. The way he referenced it makes it sound like I'm listening to a vegetarian talk about steak. Like I question if he's had a beverage before.
Yeah, he just turned old enough to have one. So
let's
is he 32?
Yeah, 32. So this is Sean McVay, wonder kid, genius, hell of a coach. This was him after the game.
Yeah, it was a whirlwind. I feel like I might need a couple beverages to relax tonight.
So what are we putting the over under at?
As many as he wants after a win.
That is also true.
As many as he wants.
Yeah, I gotta imagine the day off is coming today, considering the game was on Monday night, creates a short week, all that stuff, and it lasted about 11,000 hours.
11.
Night.
By the way,
11 hours.
3 hours and 42 minutes was the game.
The long one.
With all the scoring and with all the penalties.
And it could have been as long as it wanted, and I still would have been there. Like I said, for the final season of Game of Thrones and for the next Avengers movie, you could make all of those and last night's game as long as you want, and I'm not going to stop.
We've always talked about, the pace of the game. Just like in baseball, it's not the time, it's the pace. It doesn't feel like it's moving along.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
That's the perfect example last night. The pace was so frenetic.
Yeah, it was.
It was, except when it was stopped by the All-Star flags from the All-Star crew. Much more in this game in just a few minutes with Ryan Clark joining us. By the way, we get to see his noggin for the first time since he ran into a camera in the NFL
Yes,
studios.
he did. We'll be talking about that.
Did you see the signs they put up for him? The Ryan Clark rule in full effect.
This just in. Look up from your phone. That's the rule for Ryan Clark
Millennials,
going
man,
forward.
the worst.
We'll have him explain that to you for those that don't know what we're talking about.
Oh, we'll go to that in great detail.
Yes, we will.
Trust me. But first, let's get to what's trending. And as our great producer Stanzik paid off with the tease, the Big Maple is now in the Big Apple. The Mariners and Yankees completed a trade Monday that sends ace left-hander James Paxton to New York for 3 prospects, including top-rated lefty Justice Sheffield. The thing there, the Big Maple, he's Canadian. He's from Toronto.
Listen, there's all kind of stats with him that you want. 41 and 26 overall in his career, 3.42 ERA. He's never thrown more than 160 innings, blah, 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 blah. He was born in a fishing village in the suburbs of Vancouver. That's awesome because I love fishing, and I would love to go to that village. And this is the dude who was standing in the outfield for the national anthem when the bald eagle was flying around, and the eagle landed on his shoulder, and dude didn't flinch.
Whatever.
Okay? All right? I want him on my team. And now the Yankees have him on his team. That is just was an awesome sight to see.
Do you think he's sort of the black sheep of the family? If you grow up in a fishing village and you leave to do something other than become a fisherman, I have to imagine that's kind of frowned upon.
Is he not welcome back in his fishing village?
I wonder. See, that's the E60 I need.
So let me get this straight. He's not welcome back in his fishing village with these gazillion dollars of money that he can bring to said fishing
He could help the fishing village.
No, I can say you
might help the fishing village.
The
just
nets
a
and
little
boats
bit.
look a little nicer at that kind of salary.
Oh, by the way, threw a no-hitter last year.
Yeah.
In Toronto.
One of 3 different countries where we had a no-hitter last year.
Yeah, it was Mexico, Canada, and L.A.
And California.
California.
But I was with you. I got it.
I know.
They made fun of it because they like to claim that they are.
The pettiest show in
But I was
America.
with you, United States, Mexico, and Canada.
Whatever.
I had your back.
Yeah, you
I just
did.
wanted I was confident in you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm confident in Paxton because an eagle landed on his shoulder.
Yeah.
Confidence theme is brought to you by National Mortgage Lender Quicken Loans. Apply simply, understand fully, mortgage confidently. Okay, so that else happened. How about Kemba Walker? 43 points, giving him 103 in his last 2 games, which the Charlotte Hornets only won one of. But they battled back to beat the Celtics, Mike, 117-112. Where are we on we're concerned about the Celtics meter at this point.
Or where's Kemba Walker going to end up to help a team?
Correct.
Wasn't he? He was all I talked about last year, right before the trade deadline,
Exactly.
of where he may go, end up not going anywhere. Dude can score, no doubt about that. He passed Steph Curry to take over the NBA scoring lead, 29.6 per game. Now Curry hasn't played in a while, and Kemba is scoring like crazy. But to your point, the Celtics again. I'm not so much worried about the first. We're into the first. Getting close to 20 games of the season. Talk to me halfway through, see where we're at, and then obviously as the season goes on, what the attrition rate is and where we are with injuries.
Yeah, I think it's okay to take stock at the quarter mark, though, and we're getting close to that, knowing it's an 80-some-odd game season. Charlotte, the 8th seed in the East right now, but I'm with you. It becomes, and I saw a lot of people clamoring for this, that Michael Jordan and that group better do the right thing and re-sign Kemba Walker because he's about the most interesting thing they've had on that team in quite some time. But it just seems like a piece, sort of like Anthony Davis, that you're just waiting for the point when he gets siphoned off to a contender.
But again, the Celtics dropped to 9-8. They're 4 games in back of the Raptors in the Atlantic Division. So we've seen a couple of teams that we've expected to do well.
Yeah,
and
not
so far
doing so well.
struggled.
Yep.
How about this? The Micah Adams tweeted this. Kemba Walker is tied for the 111th highest paid player this season. What value you're getting for him right now that is going to be quickly erased.
What's he make? I didn't see the number. At 111th in the league. What was it? Go back to that.
That's
what was
the most
number he made?
impressive thing. Give the number.
Oh,
Yeah, give the number that he makes at 111.
Kemba Walker tied for
12
111.
million. No,
$12 million.
Kemba
12
Walker
million.
makes $12 million even.
Yeah,
$12
he's the
million.
113th. 113th. Tied for 111. I'm sorry. Yeah, but there's a kicker in
$12
there.
million a year.
And
Wow.
there are 110 people that make more a year. I'm not feeling too bad for Kemba Walker.
What a
right?
great sport.
You know who's thinking I played the wrong sport? Le'Veon Bell.
Boy, oh my gosh, yeah. As he's balling in LA Fitness.
Both Plumlees, Mason and Miles make more money than Kemba Walker.
That is a quality
Together or
tweet.
separately? Together, separately.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah.
We all picked the wrong sport.
Yeah, we
Let's be clear about that.
Well, pick the one like any of us could play.
Wait, golf, Trey?
Yeah, no. Golf. I picked the wrong sport.
Mike, when you played on your travel team, you were the greatest at using all your fouls. That was you did well.
My high school coach always came to me and said, I got 5 good ones
Yeah.
for you, Mike, every game.
It's a skill set. Don't think it isn't.
That's about
Don't
it.
think it isn't a skill
You're
set.
not 3 foot in, don't shoot.
Yeah, that's also true. Meanwhile, R.J. Barrett scored 20. Cam Reddish had 16 as top-ranked Duke remained unbeaten at the Maui Invitational with a 90-64 rout over San Diego State. And as you pointed out, Junior, it's great that R.J. Barrett scored 20 and Cam Reddish had 16, but we care more about the guy that scored 13.
Man, let me tell you what. Zion, and we're talking about all these guys right now. Patrick Mahomes, Tua Tagovailoa. Zion fits into that mold of must-see every time he's out there because he's just so physically freaky. And yeah, we know all about how good the rest of these triplets are. But at a time where you got to be interesting, man, this guy is holding my interest in Duke basketball every single time.
By the way, in his first 3 games, he missed 7 shots total. In the first 3 games, this game he missed 6. He's obviously, the season is getting to him.
Bum.
Yeah. But you just wait for the dunk. He's good for at least 1 or 2 windmills a game, let alone all the other dunks he does.
Let's put it this way. Best field goal percentage this season, averaging at least 20 points per game. Zion Williamson leads the pack. 74% shooting. Of course, when you basically bend a rim on every
pretty
shot.
much.
But, I mean, as a freshman It's unbelievable. 74%. Next best on that list of a player averaging 20 points, Trent Harris at 68 for Northern Colorado. So he's 6 points better than the next best guy that's contributing as much as he is and doing the things he's doing. By the way, next up for Duke in the semifinals of the Maui Invitational, number 1 Duke faces number 1 Auburn, 8 p.m. Eastern, number 8 Auburn, number 1 Duke, number 8 Auburn, 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN and ESPN Radio.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. We talk about this Duke team and how dominant they've been so far against non-conference opponents, but this Maui Invitational is always sort of a good barometer for some of the out-of-conference elite from college basketball. And then once they get into ACC play, we keep thinking it's not going to be as easy for them until it is.
Yeah.
Like until they get there and all of a sudden they're just railroading everybody, and we've got to reconcile that this might be like college football this season too.
And we could see them playing number 3 Gonzaga in the Maui Invitational final. Should they both get there, so we'll see what happens going forward with that. Okay, obviously what happened Monday night is going to be a big discussion of, well, sports for the next few days.
Yes, it
no
is.
doubt about it. So who better to talk to than our next guy, Ryan Clark, ESPN analyst, joins us this morning. And he took a week off last week because Ryan took one for the team.
Yeah, he did. Wow.
Or he just took one.
He just took one.
For those that didn't know, look up, Ryan. We want to see the stitches. Okay, Ryan was walking around the NFL Live studio and was down on his phone. Down on his phone, and you just ran right into a camera.
Explain what you did.
Well, so it was actually kind of in the research area. I was looking down on my phone. We were upstairs, so they moved like the jib and all the cameras and the chairs. They kind of moved them closer to research, and I put my phone down, and as soon as I turned to walk, it was right there. It was right in the opening. I actually went back to the scene of the crime yesterday, Trey. You saw me in there because I wanted to see who hit me. I wanted to see what injured me. And I hit like the pole on the end of it. And it was a nice gash. You know, they took me to Bristol Hospital. They strapped me on a gurney. They took my blood pressure. They did all the things they had to do. They had this wrap around my head. But I lived, man. And I survived. And I'm back. And I'm fighting this week because for us, for the team, we need to win.
Can I ask you one question?
Sure.
Did you cry?
Heck no. You know we don't cry, Golic. You already know, man. Like, I have very strict, like, injury rules, right? One of my injury rules is if you have an upper body injury, you need to do your best to get up and walk off the field. The other thing is if you have an injury that is around people, mostly if women are around, you do not cry. And so the makeup girls, they were trying to help me because at some point, right, the stage manager runs off the set. He grabs a first aid kit and he's like, hey, bro, we have these flesh-colored Band-Aids. I say, first off, flesh-colored Band-Aids are always for white people. They don't make them in my color. I was like, so the fact that you think I have this 1-inch gash in my head that you're going to cover with a flesh-colored Band-Aid and actually make me go work again, you got to be out your mind. And so once we got past that, we were good. The makeup girls figured out they couldn't fix it. So, man, they put me in the ambulance, man. I went to the hospital, and, you know, they took care of me.
You know what? In all of that, I completely agree with Ryan on those rules. Feels like some ESPN on ESPN crime because that's a direct shot at Paul Pierce. I hope they cut that sound and send it to him because that is foul, Ryan, and I don't appreciate that. We're talking to Ryan Clark, our ESPN NFL analyst. Hey, listen, it's the truth, and sometimes it hurts. Get up out the chair.
Hey, listen, you can't get wheeled off in the wheelchair because your shoulder pops out of place.
That's exactly right.
Here's the deal. For a guy that was willing to give up an internal organ to play the game, I'm not surprised that he wasn't going to cry and probably into a camera. Let's just be clear about that. Okay, Ryan, as a former NFL player, did you feel like that game was great last night, or did you say what has happened to the game that I love and played so well at safety?
Is it okay to be both, Trey?
Yes,
is it okay to be both? And I know, I've heard Golic for years talk about how he hated when defense slipped and games were like this, but this was something that we had been building up. I mean, this was a great game for the network. This was a great game for the NFL. And many times when you build something up this high, it doesn't live up to the hype. But as far as entertainment, it was like two very good Big 12 football teams playing against each other. Nobody stopped anybody, or the couple of times they did, it was big plays defensively. You score 105 points on NFL Live yesterday. They asked me, was I taking the over? And I told them, I'm taking the way over. When you watch these two teams play, it doesn't look like they're ever going to stop anyone, and it looks like people can't stop them. And we saw that last night, aside from some defensive linemen coming up and making some big plays and, Patrick Mahomes throwing some interceptions late. It was entertaining. It was exciting. And it feels like it's so far off from when we were talking about ratings slipping and the NFL not being entertaining, the NFL not being interesting. And one thing we know is that Roger Goodell and the execs at the NFL, they know how to make money. And they've changed these rules, and they've kind of got things going to a point where they can keep these games exciting. And last night was the greatest example of that.
So what did you take away? I mean, Rams do win it, but obviously Kansas City scores a lot of points. We're seeing more interceptions by Mahomes now. What were your biggest takeaways from it?
Well, coming into Mahomes' rookie year, even when we were talking about drafting him, there was obviously some concerns about him being a gunslinger. And, we use that term very loosely, but when you have a guy like Patrick Mahomes who can throw the ball a mile, but also believes in his talent, you're going to get some of those things. So we've seen that kind of start to show up in Patrick Mahomes' game. And then you look at the Los Angeles Rams and you look at this offense and what they can do, and Aaron Donald, what he can do defensively. I ended the night thinking to myself, my goodness, the Saints are so much better than everybody else. And I do get back to 3 weeks ago where 4 minutes left in the game. It's 35-35 in the New Orleans Superdome. And you understand that the Los Angeles Rams can play with the Saints from a scoring standpoint. But when you watch the Saints play, you watch the complete team that they are, both defensively, offensively, being able to run the ball, Drew Brees being so accurate, you start to wonder, are they a cut above the rest when you watch a game like this and people just can't get stops?
Talking to Ryan Clark, ESPN NFL analyst, here with us on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. And Ryan, I guess, is it as simple as the Saints defense can pull out more stops than them? But even offensively, is there something that feels different about the Saints compared to what we see from Kansas City and from Los Angeles at this point?
You know what scared me last night, Junior, was the fact that nobody wanted to stick with the run. You're averaging over 4.5 yards a carry with Todd Gurley. You're averaging 5 yards a carry with Kareem Hunt. And neither one of them get 20 carries. Neither one of them get 20 touches. And when you're watching your defense and figuring, okay, we can't stop the other side, you have to make a decision. And Andy Reid and Sean McVay both made the decision. We are just going to score as many points as we can possibly score. Neither one of those guys thought to themselves, okay, we're going to run the ball. We're going to control clock. We're going to play good defense. And I think the New Orleans Saints do that when you have Mark Ingram, when you have Alvin Kamara, when you have Taysom Hill, and you can do some different things with this running attack. I think the Saints do that a little bit better than we've seen the Rams and Chiefs do down the stretch. And so many times when we get these offensive gurus and these great play callers, which Andy Reid is, or Andrew Reid, as we saw him in the punt, pass, and kick in the Coliseum years ago, we've seen him get away from the run a little bit because he's such a great play caller, loves to push the ball down the field. And we've seen Sean McVay in the last 2 weeks do the exact same thing. And Sean Payton has been very consistent with making sure this team stays with the run, this team stays with ball control, which allows Drew Brees to get into this play action, which he's been extremely accurate in completing this year.
Yeah, Ryan Clark with us, our NFL analyst. Ryan, I want to ask you this question because obviously I think you're probably shaded in the direction of where I'm going here, but just be honest with me here. In a 54-51 loss, did we see an NFL player make his case for being the MVP of the league in Aaron Donald? He now has 14 and a half sacks with 2 strip sacks in that game. He leads the league in most sacks, most quarterback hits, and tackles for losses as an interior defensive lineman.
Yeah, I mean, when you watch Aaron Donald, I think what stands out more to me than anything is the fact that there aren't a lot of other guys making plays. It's not like you had to divert attention from Aaron Donald because you're trying to stop other people from getting to the quarterback or because you're trying to stop other people from making plays. And last night was his first 2 forced fumbles of the season, which was crazy to me because he's been all over the field this year. But every time you watch the Los Angeles Rams, he pops off the film. He pops off the TV. And to be able to do what he's done this year with the type of pressure that's on him now after holding out, after getting this huge contract, it's really been amazing. And to me, he's the best non-quarterback playing in the NFL today. And last night was a huge example of that. The way he affected this game without Aaron Donald, the Los Angeles Rams don't win. And that's even with the Rams offense playing the way that it did. This guy was a smart sign. He's been excellent all year, and he's even playing better than his contract suggests he needs to.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's never run into a camera in a studio either, so he's got that going for him as
Boom.
well. RC, we love you, brother. Thanks for being with us this morning.
Appreciate it, my man. Love y'all guys.
Stay safe, Ryan.
He's the best.
Those things always end. They're bleeders. You know, I mean, the blood that just, you put your hands up and go, oh, no, how bad is it? And you look down and there's probably just blood pouring through your hand.
When I first met Ryan in Pittsburgh going into training camp my rookie year, I had that same scar above my head. I cut it working out that summer, doing drills with some offensive linemen back at school. And it was the same thing. I put it there like that. And Zach Martin, who was still at Notre Dame at the time with the Cowboys now, I look over and I pull it over and go, how bad is it? And he goes, put your hand back up there.
Well, it's like, not Wade Ritchie, the John Ritchie used to work for us, played for the Raiders, had that scar right here on his helmet all the time. And Eli Manning in that preseason game against the Giants a few years ago, the cuts bleed the most. They look terrible. They're just superficial, but they are always the bloodiest.
We got a bleeder.
Exactly. So we're not going to finish the rest of that. Although I want to. Coming up,
train up over the track.
Exactly. We just ease it back up. Stop me now. Coming up, a top NFL draft prospect is going to earn his Letterman jacket this weekend. Yeah.
Support for the Golic and Wingo Show podcast comes from our friends at Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Let's talk about buying homes for a minute. Because of rising interest rates, there's a lot of unpredictability when it comes to buying a home these days. It's causing a whole lot of anxiety with folks. Well, our friends at Quicken Loans are doing something about it. They're calling it the power buying process, and here's how it works. Quicken Loans will verify your income, assets, and credit in less than 24 hours to give you a verified approval. This gives you the strength of a cash buyer. Then once you're verified, you qualify for their all-new exclusive Rate Shield approval. First, they lock your rate for up to 90 days while you shop. Now here's the best part. If rates go up, your rate stays the same. But if rates go down, your rate also drops. You win either way. It's the kind of thinking you'd expect from America's largest mortgage lender. To get started, go to rocketmortgage.com/Golic. Rate Shield approval only valid on certain 30-year purchase transactions. Additional conditions or exclusions may apply. Based on Quicken Loans data in comparison to public data record. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSconsumeraccess.org number 3030.
It's a busy time in the NFL, especially for the fans. There's couches to fluff, bandwagon jerseys to buy, and most importantly, getting the perfect snack lineup ready. If you're going to watch football as hard as it deserves to be watched, you're going to need California almonds. With 6 grams of energy-giving protein, you'll have the stamina you need for the anxious sweats, happy jumps, and of course, the angry convulsing. Plus, they're portable, in case you need some fresh air and a screaming break. Visit almonds.com and own every day of the season with California almonds.
Golic and Wingo, ESPN Radio, ESPN2, presented by Progressive Insurance. Again, we want to hear from you. We'll play these voicemails coming up in just a little bit. What else has lived up to the hype like last night's game? 860-506-5505. Okay, so you may be saying to yourself, why did we play that rock, paper, scissors rejoin back from 2007, I think it was, when I did that? Because rock, paper, scissors, Mike, has come into the news for, quite frankly, an interesting reason, and the people have spoken, and the people have this ref's back.
Yeah, we talked about this last week. There was a referee at a soccer match where he was
women's soccer league in England.
He was out in the middle, and the 2 captains were out there, and he forgot a coin. He flipped the coin to see which side you're going to defend and all that thing. Like a normal start of a game, you flip a coin. He didn't have a coin, so he made the 2 captains play rock, paper, scissors. And basically, he got suspended for 21 days because of that, because it was unprofessional. Well, so the other referees around soccer, referees across grassroots matches in England, basically stood up for this guy and had the captains all do rock, paper, scissors. They didn't even worry about a coin toss. They all made so much so that the players were asking to do rock, paper, scissors. I think that is awesome. I think that is one of the coolest things. The refs were sticking up for the other ref, and the players were getting into it as well. How cool. I would have no problem. I was a captain of Notre Dame. I walk out to the coin toss. If that ref said, I don't have a coin, play rock, paper, scissors, I'd have been like, Cool.
Right.
All right, this would be neat.
I spent my entire life deciding every meaningful decision with my brother or sister at a game of rock, paper, scissors. I love this because it introduces skill. So much of sports is certainly left up to chance, but it's about using your skill to influence that. That is rock, paper, scissors.
Correct.
The coin is random. Give me my own role in this. And let's go. Then you got to start thinking about that with your captain. Who do you send out there? Which one of your captains do you let go out and actually throw hands?
And throw hands in a different way than what you normally
There
say.
you go.
By the way, cool. This is neat. Might be the rock of that upon which this show is built.
Not everyone was happy with this, though.
No.
Not the paper
everyone.
on which this show is built.
No.
Nor the scissors.
Southern Sunday League spokesman told the BBC, 2 wrongs don't make a right. Referees are law enforcers, not lawbreakers. This action, unprofessional, and it brings the game into disrepute.
Oh, shut up. Just unnamed official. Just shut the hell up. By the way, this is my favorite thing about this. It's a Southern Sunday League spokesperson told the BBC. In other words, he realized his stand on this was so freaking weak that he didn't even give his name. Who are you? I'm a Southern Sunday League spokesperson. What's your name? Just know that I'm a Southern Sunday League spokesperson. Are you kidding me with that? That is awful.
Oh, the game's in a state of disrepute. How
give
do
me
we
a
ever go
break.
on?
Use a word like that.
Give
disrepute.
me a break with that.
Yeah.
That is
Nice
so
word, college
stupid.
boy.
Kudos to the hundreds of officials and players that back David McNamara. David, we stand with you in this time of turmoil and unrest in your life.
I hope we can get this going and maybe get this to the NFL
I
level.
completely agree. Completely
Let's
agree.
show really how just transcontinental this support is.
Well, remember when the XFL started and they used to have basically they throw the ball, you have to dive to go
the
get
ball
the
on the
football?
50-yard line and 2 players sprinted toward it until one dislocated his shoulder. Yeah, that was the end of that.
That pretty much ended that.
Yeah, you don't want injury before
No.
a game. Nobody's getting hurt playing rock, paper, scissors.
No, they're not.
Not the way you play it.
Just the feelings might get hurt. Golic and Wingo brought to you by 1-800-Flowers. Hosting a Thanksgiving gathering is no small accomplishment. Show them how much you appreciate all the hard work with 24 multicolored roses for $24 from 1-800-Flowers. To order, go to 1-800-Flowers.com/ESPN. Okay, while you guys were, how do I use this? Celebrating Thursday night in New York City for Mike's induction to the National Radio Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm. And celebrating was a key word there.
Yes, way into the wee hours of Friday morning.
Wee hours.
Something happened at a football game with the University of Houston last Thursday night. Ed Oliver, who's going to be one of the top 5 picks in the NFL draft, did not play in that game, and he was seen gallivanting, putting the game in disrepute on some level, running around on the field, jumping even though he had a knee injury. And it was a night game, so players have University of Houston jackets they can wear on the sidelines. Except there's a rule. The rule is, according to Major Applewhite, the head coach at the University of Houston, that if you are not playing in the game, you don't get a jacket. Ed Oliver was wearing the jacket, and Major Applewhite said, you need to take that jacket off. And then Ed Oliver went off.
No, he didn't say you need to take that jacket off. He took the jacket off.
Yeah,
Ed
he put
Oliver.
hands on him.
And that was wrong. That was, you can have your rule, and that's fine. And, I remember tweeting about this. Players are treated differently. It's just the way it is. No matter how much your coach says you want to treat them the same. But you want to have that rule for everybody, that's fine. You know what? Walk up, either tell him to take it off, tell an assistant to tell him to take it off. You don't physically take the guy's jacket off of him. That was a ridiculous move by Major Applewhite. And Ed Oliver lost his mind there. They have basically kissed and made up, for lack of a better term. And now the question is Ed Oliver going to play in this game?
He is. He's expected to play when they visit
Well, he was
Memphis.
expected to play last week, too, and he didn't play.
I think he's expected to play this week, means he gets to wear the jacket. But let's be honest, that wasn't about the jacket. That was about a lot more going on, because he put out a tweet before the game saying, I left all they had so I don't have anything to lose. The implication was that a lot of people felt like, okay, he's not playing anymore. And then when you see, Mike, let me ask you this, because we talked about this. When you see a guy that's supposedly injured, running up and around the field, jumping up and down, and, this is a really good player. That had to rub some people the wrong way.
To me, it only matters about him and his teammates. Again, for a little backstory here, he hurt his knee against Navy. Remember, Navy's an option team. They go low all the time. He hurt his knee. This was like October 20th. And hasn't played since. And Major Applewhite basically said, it's up to him whether he wants to play or not, meaning he's physically ready to go. It's just a matter if he wants to play or not. I don't know what his relationship with his teammates are. If he's told his teammates, listen, I'm not going to play for a while to make sure this 100%. So that to me is the biggest concern in the world, because we're seeing this more and more. Now he says he's going to play. It's against Memphis. They beat Memphis. They're playing in the championship game against Central Florida. Correct? I believe that's where they are right now.
Yep.
So it sounds like he's going to play. So to me, Mike, it's all about the relationship he has with his teammates and what he has either told them or what's going on with them.
No, and that's certainly important to an extent. But none of his teammates are going to pay his damn bills.
Correct.
Like that's the beginning and end of it. Like you would like to do right by all those guys, but at the end of the day, Ed Oliver makes a decision for him and his, because the rest of those guys, and when he comes asking for it, aren't going to be the ones that are expected or should be expected to take care of Ed Oliver in that way. So at some point, that's got to be a him decision and him alone.
Right, exactly. To me, it was not just about the jacket. There were certain tensions underneath.
The jacket was not the reason this all went down.
Major Applewhite realizes he is secondary in this. Ed Oliver is the draw at Houston, not Major Applewhite.
Right.
And when Ed Oliver leaves, they disappear from the public light.
What is the whole thing we talk about college is the coaches are the power.
Yes.
Right? Well, Ed Oliver's the power there, and there are some players that can exert the power if they want to, and Major Applewhite was caught up in that. Ed Oliver has dropped from number 2 on I think it's Mel's big board to number 7. I mean, he's still going to be a top pick. He's one of those 280, 290 D tackles who plays on the other side of the line.
You mean like Aaron Donald?
Yeah.
There you go. That might be an apt comparison. We'll see if he's that good, but he is considered to be one of the top picks in the draft. Coming up, an NFL player that has roommates.
Did you know ADT can design and install a smart home just for you? A new smart home at your service, customized for your lifestyle. ADT professionals can even show you how to use your new smart home features. Now, that's what I call warm-up service. It's all controlled from the ADT app or the sound of your voice and backed by 24/7 protection. Visit ADT.com/smart to learn more about how ADT can help keep your home safe and smart.
Golic and Wingo is brought to you by Peloton. Peloton, game-changing indoor cycling bike, is the perfect gift this season. Get the buns and thighs. Peloton's best offer this year is here for 1 week only, now through Cyber Monday. Get the works. Accessories valued at $249 for absolutely free when you buy the bike. For more details, see onepeloton.com.
All right, Golic and Wingo here with you. Again, we've asked for your voicemails today, 860-506-5505, because the Chiefs-Rams game was so good. It lived up to the hype we had put up to it with these two 9-1 teams. We ask you what else has lived up to the hype like last season's game, 860-506-5505, and the voicemails are coming in.
The one thing that's absolutely lived up to the hype, just like the football game did last night, Golic and Wingo. Just kidding. First and last, 4 to 6 a.m. You're the man, Gojo.
What up, Doe?
There you go. Nicely done.
We're out here, baby.
Kudos to you,
First and
sir.
last in these streets, 4 to 6 a.m. Monday through Friday. Gang, gang, gang. Let's go.
Sounded a lot like your brother Jake.
Let's go. Appreciate it, Jake. Money's in your Venmo account.
It happens. Venmo. All right, you guys ready to do this?
Yes.
All right, let's play the game we do every week, our NFL superlatives. All right, glad you're with us for this week's NFL superlatives, where we give out awards and prizes to the greatest things or the worst things we saw in another week of NFL football. Let's start with this award.
Most likely to live with his parents as an adult. Hey, Ma, can we get some meatloaf?
I never know what she's doing back there.
I feel personally attacked by this award.
There you go. How about Broncos running back Phillip Lindsay? He's an undrafted free agent out of Colorado. He's from Denver, plays for the Broncos, living at home with his parents to save money this season.
Yeah, he made $15,000 signing bonus, and he's making $480,000 this year. He leads all rookies in rushing. I'm sure he'll get some bonuses, possibly in that contract as well. But to save money, making $480,000 this year living with his parents.
That player performance check he gets in the spring is going to change a lot of that.
We won't explain the player performance check. Just know it will be hundreds of thousands of dollars extra he'll be getting.
Essentially, for a rookie, for an undrafted guy, you get a certain amount of hundreds of dollars per play.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with living at home for a while.
Good for him. Again, he's got more rushing yards than Saquon Barkley.
Yes, he does.
Just think about it that way, and that tells you how well he's playing.
Onward we go.
The
some dudes might have the coin, but they'll never have the
Trey
Quan
Award.
That's going to go to Saints wide receiver Traquan Smith, Drew Brees' go-to receiver in their 48-7 win over the Eagles. He got 10 passes for 157 yards and a touchdown for the Saints. Last year, Traquan Smith played for the undefeated national champion. Who put that in there? I just read that. He played for UCF and was drafted in the 3rd round by the New Orleans Saints. They weren't the national champions.
Like Ron Burgundy, Golic will read anything on the prompter.
Yeah, so true.
All right, we're moving on. What do we got?
The
How do you do, fellow kids? What?
Award.
Hype beast Adam Vinatieri, the 45-year-old wonder, getting after it post-game to Mo Bamba with his young teammates.
How about that? Wow.
Yeah, how about that?
How about that?
That was something. Let me tell you what. Adam Vinatieri, I picked him up my fantasy team the other day with streaming kickers on a bye week.
Yeah.
That guy, that is an attractive man. Just a little salt and pepper in there. I didn't see what kind of rhythm he had, truth be told. I didn't see the breakdown after the game. Mo Bamba's out here
but he was doing
people.
it, though. He was doing it.
You can do something without doing it.
I did not see that story making that turn, but I appreciate you making that thing for us. We move on.
Isn't it ironic? Award.
And again, to be clear, the only thing ironic about that song is that she misused the word irony. And that's why we're saying this, because none of this is ironic. It's just coincidental. Alex Smith broke his leg on the 33rd anniversary to the day of Joe Theismann breaking his. Both games ended with a 23-21 score. Lawrence Taylor injured Theismann, and Watt was the one who landed on Smith. Taylor and Watt are the only 3-time defensive players of the year in the history of the NFL.
Isn't it ironic?
Except it isn't.
There
Isn't
you go.
it coincidental? Yes, it is.
Oh, I had to just stop myself from singing the. Nah, we got to move on. I got to get away from
Let's go to Goats.
The GOAT.
The greatest of all time.
It's like Monday Night Football.
Yes.
Everything it gave us. It was literally the greatest Monday Night Football ever, highest scoring Monday Night Football game ever. It lived up to the billing. And I don't want to see it that many times.
No, you won't. First time ever that 2 teams have scored 50 points in a game. Yep. First time a team has scored 50 points and lost, all that kind of stuff. So there's the good GOAT.
Well, how about this, too? The Chiefs averaging more points in a loss than they are in their wins this year.
Crazy.
45 and a half points in both of their losses this year versus
that.
38 in their wins.
Bad GOAT.
And the GOAT.
We'd have to go to Maryland and the Carolina Panthers, college and pro, failed 2-point conversions, both quarterbacks, wide open receivers. Maryland would have beat Ohio State. The Carolina Panthers would have taken the lead with 1:07 to go. Both quarterbacks missed the wide open receivers.
Yeah, it was just incredible. The play was there for both of them to make. NFL superlatives, obviously, we're leading with the Cam one, and then the Maryland thing is the baby goat in all of this. So, congratulations to everybody who won the award, except for the last 2
We have no award to give you or anything like that.
Yeah, much like UCF's national title.
We're just thinking of you. Coming up, the hottest coach in the NFL will join us. That's next. Stay with us.
Technology Truths, brought to you by Geico.
Technology Truths.
Truth. Teenagers can communicate entirely in emojis.
How was the birthday party? Pizza slice, kitten, soccer ball, pineapple?
Truth. It's so easy to switch and save on car insurance at Geico.com.
What are you talking about? Paperclip, shoulder shrug, high five, wizard hat? What?
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.